All right, it's still preparing. Let's see here.
Yes, live on Facebook.
It's still streaming it, setting it up. We're not live just yet, but I believe we are very soon. Here we go.
Mhm.
All right.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. It's such an honor to be doing this with you, Suresh. And I just want to make sure we're set up here on my end, so we can actually see the comments that's coming in. And usually, what I do is wait a few minutes just for folks to join in, before we get started. Okay, there we are. Yeah, Luna, fathers are watching. Brother, hey, Luna, good to see you. All right, and so we're live finally, and we do want to take a moment to apologize.
Yeah.
Some tech interesting challenges. That's always in this new world we're living in, always something that needs to be figured out. But so as you're joining in, welcome to our call today. I'm here with my dear friend, guru and mentor Suresh. And I decided to dress appropriately. This is a shirt I got in India, and I haven't really worn it.
But this is what I got from Europe, so it's matched now, balanced.
Oh, that's perfect. We have a lot of people joining in. Peter, Dr. Giussi, Karina, Sabina. Good to see you guys. So we have a little less time now because of those tech issues, but we'll still be spending about an hour's time. I hope we can do that. And
Mm.
first, I want to take the time to really introduce you properly to our community. So, for those of you who are watching live, and for those of you who are going to be watching the replay, Suresh is a dear friend. I consider him a mentor of mine. And when I crashed with my health years ago in the entertainment industry, I went to India in search for more meaning and more purpose and more connection to me. And Suresh was the first that in my lifetime that ever said to me that I wasn't in my body. And first I was startled, and I'm like, what does he mean by that? I'm right here, But is I was not in my body. I was sick with physical symptoms. I was driven to a point of disease in my body. So I really consider you to be one of the people that really put me back on track in my life. And I treasure you highly. And we've developed a wonderful friendship. And I'm so grateful that we can do this today. So, on behalf of our entire community, welcome to our page.
Yeah, thank you very much, Anders, because you know that, as you said, we are very good friends, and it's good to be live with a friend from different parts of the world, right? Two ends of the world, and share something that is common, that is relevant everywhere.
Abs-
So that is so nice.
and
And
these are
all
universal.
those out there, hi.
Absolutely. And what I love about this is it's universal. Anybody can do it from wherever they are. And
Yeah.
the fact that you and I are connecting now from opposite sides of the planet, it's just such a joy. And before we get to the end, for those of you watching, Suresh and I will, well, mostly Suresh will teach a breathing technique to sort of center ourselves. I'll try and follow along as good as possible. And it's interesting because I find myself sitting in what I attempt to create a lotus position here on my office chair, and I just couldn't help but do it. It's so natural because when you and I get together and we talk in real life, we always sit on a yoga mat. So I mistake as it is for me at least.
Yeah,
It
good
makes
to
it
sit on a yoga mat and see that we are connected. Now we are doing something about connectedness, and that is nice. To remind us.
absolutely. So for folks who are watching, I certainly had great misconceptions around yoga before I started working with you. I thought, after having done yoga here in Miami for years, I thought it was about standing on your head and doing crazy postures. And I was always envious of the folks in front of the group because they were doing all these things and they were putting all the effort into the poses and the postures. And when I met you the first time, we sort of just talked for the first hour and I got really impatient. I'm like, when are we gonna do yoga? And
I remember that.
yeah, and I'm sure you see that a lot, because what you really made me understand is what I thought was yoga wasn't real yoga. It was a misconception. So would you mind sharing to our folks today who's on the call what yoga really is? Because I think many of us have that confused.
Yeah, so it is an universal confusion because we are all doing yoga, but a lot of us don't know what is the real yoga. I'm not saying that I know it and you don't know it. It's not that. But when we go into the practice of yoga, first of all, we should see why we are doing this. Why we do yoga and not an exercise. So that is a difference. No, it is not a physical exercise. It is yoga. So it is more than a physical movement or physical perfection. Of course, the physicality is involved because we cannot exist without a body. So the body is involved, but body is only the first step in yoga, because that is the outermost step, outermost wall that we have. Getting in is the purpose of yoga. So first you have to get in through the body.
Yeah.
So to get in, we should have the body, we should open the body. So every movement that we do in yoga, we call asanas, are a way to open the body, open the doors of the body so that we can get in. So, but I think some or lot of them are just opening the door and staying there. So that is the problem. Getting in is not done. That is the only problem in yoga. You're already open, standing on the at the doorstep. Get in. That is what yoga means. So getting in means connecting to us, ourselves. Yoga means a union connection to ourselves. So for that, we have to get in. Yeah, there are more steps there, like we call the breath level or the pranic level, the mind level, the information or the knowledge level, and something that is in the center that has all these levels around it. So it is a beautiful concept to how to get in through the levels. So the body movements are called asanas, the breath movements are called pranayama, the mind settlement is called the meditation, and the knowledge correction is called the philosophy part of yoga. So it's all involved in yoga, not only moving the body.
That is so great. And I just, the whole meaning of it is getting in union with the essence that is you, right? And so in our terminology and what we do, it's we're working with illusions and getting past the illusion to the real essence of who we are, so that we can start changing things profoundly. And I remember you saying to me one time, you said, Anders, when you confuse what you have with what you are, you'll always have challenges. And I think people do think they are their body, and they think they are their physical possessions and everything in their material world, right? When we're led to believe that through input from society and how we're growing up, and et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not sure we have time to go through it today, but maybe you can just, you briefly touched on it, the different levels. So, the starting from the outside and moving our way in. But could you just quickly recap the process of getting to the essence of who you really are?
Yeah. So it is all these levels we talked about. I will repeat that, but they are the tools of us. They are not us. Okay. So your body is a tool. Your breath is a tool. Your mind is a tool. Your knowledge is a tool, and not you. So who are you beyond these tools? So that is exploration in yoga. So how that exploration can be practiced and experienced. So that is the idea of yoga. For that, we should have first the goal clear. Set the goal, right? That is what you do too, right? Make the goal the clear goal, right? And move towards the goal. So that is same in yoga too. So, but when we put the goal there, then gets some mistakes there. When I identify myself with my body, I think that a better body makes a better me. No. A better car won't make a better you, right? It's your car. Definitely, it should be better. It's fine, but that won't make you better. So
That's
it
so
is your tool of convenience, right? So the body should be made better, definitely. But thinking that a better body makes a better me is the illusion.
yeah,
So we have to make the body better, and that is called what we call the asanas.
yeah.
The body is, it is tight and sick and heavy and cannot move. That means your tool is not working,
Mm. Yes,
right? So we have to, like any other tool, we have to service this tool a bit now. So that is the part of that's called asanas. So when the
absolutely.
body is tight, like this, locked
Mm.
in the joints, in the muscles, in the tissues, in the fascia. So what we have to do is to release the tightness. That
Yeah,
means we have to stretch. We
mm.
have to open.
Yeah,
So that is why we do the stretches in yoga to open up this aspect which is kind of blocked. Okay,
absolutely.
so that is called asana. So,
Yeah,
but when we open up, immediately the next level is involved because the breath is involved immediately. Because
absolutely.
the breath is moving into the body and out of the body continuously, constantly. Thereby, it moves the body constantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, if the body is tight, the breath flow is also tight. So, when the body opens up, our breath should also open up. Then only a harmony between them can come.
Hmm.
So, that is the idea of breathing in the movement.
Yeah.
Hmm? So,
And
when we breathe in the movement, yeah, tell me, ask me if you have
yeah,
any
no, and that,
questions there.
I mean, I'm just saying that I'm just thinking to myself as you're saying that it is so good because I think a lot of folks right now watching too out in the world, they're uptight, they're tense, they're not breathing through. And one of the things that you taught me to one, like you said this a while back, you said it's not a matter of breaking through, it's a matter of breathing through. And it's just so good because it makes you realize the mind body connection. You can't separate the two, right? And I think a lot of people do that. They start experiencing physical symptoms and they treat the symptom. And the main cause, the dis-ease that is taking place between the mind and the body hasn't been corrected. So it will forever be a symptom chase. So that's what I love about yoga and everything that you do. And I love how it aligns so well with what we're doing because in essence, we're doing the same thing from different angles.
Yeah, yeah, because uh, like like it is just continuation of what I am talking about. When we move the breath, then the next thing that we encounter is a resistance
Mm,
to be there. So that comes from the mind. A tight mind, a heavy mind, make a resistance there. So
absolutely.
that resistance makes us irritated, anxious, restless. So we come out of the position immediately because we think that, oh, it's not good for me. I am getting restless in the position.
Mhm.
But the thing is that the restlessness or the tightness or the unsure nature of the mind make the breath blocked and the body blocked because it is from within outside. From mind is more deeper, subtle. The body is more gross. The breath is semi-gross.
Mhm.
It is gross, subtle thing.
Yeah,
So the subtle things are more powerful. They can influence the gross things. Of usually the gross things, the material things are the weakest part of the expression
yeah,
because it is an expression. The cause is more subtle.
yeah.
So the mind is the cause of the tightness in the body. So when we deal with the body and breath, and then we come face to face with our mind, which is
Mm.
kind of restrictive. No? So there is the major thing to be done. Relax.
Don't you
Okay.
think that is
So
one of the challenges too? Is it takes a respectable amount of work coming face to face with what is called the mind. That is a tool we have, and we realize we're not our thoughts. We can actually take full and complete responsibility and start guiding them. But I think for some folks that idea may be more of a daunting task, realizing that they have to place responsibility square in their lap, and it is inside out. It is upside down, inside out. It's the only right way to work, and yet we've been programmed to live the other way, right, from the outside in.
yeah, Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
entire lives has been listen to what I'm telling you. Don't you see what I'm saying? And so we're inundated with all this input, and then we grow up, but we didn't never change the paradigm. So we have adults still living in a highly reactive state to everything around them, and never realizing that the true solution is staring them in the face every day.
Yes. Yeah, because if your mind is making the difficulties in the prana, in the energy level, the life energy level, the very life that is throbbing in us is affected by the mind and the
Yes.
body, and of course outside. So if you know that there is a root like that, the mind can influence in a I call negative way all these things. Why not make it different? So the same thing can be done another way, right? So I can influence my life in me, my breath, my body, and the world outside with a changed perspective, a changed outlook from the mind.
Mhm.
So it is, if the other ways it is working, this way it should work too.
Yeah,
It's so
because
simple,
it's two
right?
different ways of looking at the same thing. I love
Yeah.
that what you're saying about perspective. You know, it's interesting because our perspective is determined by our assumptions and the way we are programmed to see things, right? That's how illusions can exist. Illusions can only exist because there are assumptions. If there weren't assumptions, you didn't have the illusion. I think that's why it's so much harder to perform magic for kids, because they don't have that many assumptions. Adults are so much hardwired to see things a certain way. And so I before we go on, my friend, I wanna welcome the folks who are joining in. We have about 50 people now watching live, and I know a lot of our folks are going to watch the replay. But if you have any questions as we are talking here, type it into the chat box, and our team will make sure to send me a text with the summary of the questions here before we wrap up in about 30-40 minutes from now. And so we'll definitely get to those questions. So anything that comes to your mind as you're hearing Suresh and I talk about these concepts, feel free to send them through. This is an open conversation, which I love,
Mhm.
because we don't have that set of an agenda. We have a few things we wanted to talk about, but we want to remain open to guidance and whatever comes through. So, you know, so could you talk a little bit about, again, the mind body connection? Because what we spend time on in our programs is educating folks on our mental faculties and the power of our mind, and how amazing it really is when we really start working with it. Imagination, intuition, will, reason, memory, perception, beautiful mental faculties that we never learn to utilize. So we've been given all this freedom, but because we're so free, we've been given all this freedom. I think most folks are so confused, they don't know what to do with it. So they start imagining pictures of what they don't want, and they go the other way. And
Mm.
when we take responsibility and we use these tools, and Suresh, I'm looking forward to the breathing exercise you're going to show us later, because that is one thing that's going to help center us. But could you could you help us understand and help us live more, any input or any insight around the notion of living from the inside out, living from your higher faculties, using your perception activity on a daily basis? That's one thing a lot of folks are struggling with right now.
Actually, there is no struggle there because we are already doing it,
Mm.
right? But that makes a lot of confusion, a lot of pain, a lot of anguish because we don't have the clear idea, clear knowledge. We are doing it from inside to outside. We are putting all our ideas into our life, our perceptions, our things, right? And we
Yeah.
experience life according to that. The way I look at my life, that is how the life appears to me, right?
Yeah.
Simple. So we are doing that already. It is not something new. But
Mhm.
what we have to do is to change this way we are doing it. For
Yeah.
that, we need the right knowledge. That is the right knowledge. How to do it? What is the purpose of being here? Right? What are we doing here? Yes. So when we change that in the mind with the right ideas of life
Mhm.
and put that into our life, because wherever your mind comes, there comes your energy
Mm.
and your
Perfect.
awareness. This is a very simple equation.
Yeah.
Because if you're watching a movie in a theater, for example, you are sitting there in front of there, you came in to watch the movie, but if your mind is not there, you cannot see the movie, right? The movie is still played in front of you, but you are not seeing it because you are somewhere else. So when you put your attention into the movie, there the movie becomes real to you. Otherwise, it is still there, but it is not happening, right? So it is as simple as that. So when you put your mind into something that you are here for, it happens to you. That is quite natural. It is already happening because it is there, but you are not aware of it. So you are not getting the benefits of it. That's all.
That's such a great point about, and I like the analogy you're making to a movie theater. You know, where focus goes, energy absolutely flows. And if you're in the movie theater and you watch the movie, and let's just say the wall comes away, and there's another screen over here, and there's another movie, and you're trying to catch both. You know, you're not going to get any of it. I think that's how a lot.
And maybe at the end of it, you say the movie was boring. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. You get people that, oh, I'm so bored today. Oh my goodness, to me, just wake up. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it's such a
Yeah.
trap.
So we have to wake up to the right knowledge and go for our goal. That is a simple thing. Wake up. Don't sleep through your life. Wake up. Get the right knowledge. Go for it. Uddishtada, Jagrada, Prapyavarani Bodhada. That is what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Wake up, get up, go for the right knowledge. So
Wake up.
waking up is needed. Get up, move towards the right knowledge. That is
Yeah,
also needed.
absolutely. I love that. Wake up, and get the right knowledge. You
Yeah.
know, that is so profound because most people aren't waking up. They're sleeping all throughout their lives, right? In a highly reactive state. And they don't know they don't know. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's,
And
it's
and uh, and especially like this time of the world, when the world is going through, no, it's a lockdown everywhere, right?
yeah,
So the world is locked. We cannot go out. We cannot go to parties. We cannot escape from ourselves now. So we are inside. So the right time to get in now, because the outside is locked down. So don't lock down inside.
yeah.
Now is the time to open the doors inside to get in. Look at ourselves, how our patterns are repeating, how our habits are repeating, how we can change it. But of course, be sure that there will be resistance in the beginning to change. Hmm?
Mm.
So that resistance should be overcome. We have to practice. That is the only way. Practice yoga, it will help you.
Oh my gosh, it will. And just simple simple actions you do every day, right? That will help you go the other way. So in our community here, we're actually in the middle of a 10-day gratitude challenge where we do 5 things every day. We meet as a group, like we've hundreds of people on live. In fact, here in about an hour's time, we'll go live again with gratitude. But it's interesting to see exactly what you're talking about. For some people, it clicks and they get addicted to it, and there's the other group that, you know, it's not easy holding the mind out of the old familiar rut and start to act on new things. I mean, there is a conflict there because the old paradigm doesn't want to be changed, right? The old identity will remain there. And
Yeah, as you know, like this is a thing that I'm dealing with every day, right? With everybody who is in front of me, right? They want to change, but they don't know how to change, and there is a lot of resistance to change too. So a help is needed. That is important. That is what I said. Help from those who can help is needed, right? So that is where you have to get help for your practice too. It is not that you should just think about it. No, act on it. Do something. So
absolutely,
very simple things, like very simple practices. For example, if you do just this to the side,
yeah,
and immediately resistance will come on the side. It is tight. It is maybe, if you are flexible, it's fine. It's okay.
yeah,
But I'm saying that usually the tightness will come. Oh, so
yeah,
what will happen? Oh, it is tight. Oh, I cannot do it.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
So that is how we look at it. So, but when you open the body there
Mhm.
and start to breathe.
If you guys are at home, I want you to do this with me. And
Yeah,
Suresh.
you can all try this. Just a
Don't,
simple thing.
don't do like I do. Do like Suresh is doing, because I'm not a good model for this.
It's very simple, a very simple thing. To the side and breathe and see how the state of your body will change when you breathe within. The breath is moving inside the body. Feel that.
Mm.
and releasing inside the body, and see how the body is releasing with it. Maybe a little, a tiny, tiny bit, but that will be done.
Yeah, and you feel it. I mean, that's one of the key things that you taught me too. It's when you don't do a side bend, it's a side opening. You can't bend and open at the same time. And so you bring that analogy right over into life, right? One door doesn't close before the other one opens. It happens simultaneously.
Our idea is not to bend to the side. So that is why the word side bend is going wrong. I'm
Yeah.
trying to bend to the side. No, I am opening the other side.
Creating a left opening. Yeah.
Yeah. So when your attention, your mind, your awareness is in the opening.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the movement to the other side will happen. So what happens first? You open first. For that, you should have a clear idea, a goal set, and breathe life into it.
Yeah.
And see that it will open up for you.
That is so good. Breathe life into it. Pranayama, life energy, right? You're breathing into the muscle, you're breathing into the opening, and it just releases and opens more.
Yeah. Immediately you feel good there. The initial resistance and the restlessness just release and you feel good. But be sure that we have to slow down there.
Absolutely.
If you hurry, you cannot get it.
No.
If you slow down and go intense a bit, there is a little resistance in the beginning, but it starts to release. So that,
An important point I think to make here is that your intellect can never grasp this experience. And I think we've been so inundated and hardwired to grasp things intellectually. The whole school system has wired us hard to just grasp things intellectually. But what Suresh is really talking about here is an experiential. It's an experience. You can't
feeling.
It's a feeling, right? And that's something we spend a lot of time talking about in our programs too, as it comes to intuition and higher faculties. It's an experience. It's a feeling. It's the gap in between thoughts, as I remember you saying. Like it's that gap between thought streams that just you feel it
there. Yeah. So we are not actually feeling the situation. We are just thinking about the situation and thinking that we felt it. That feeling of thought in the thought level is a past thing. So when you stay there and relax there, like the body, breath, immediately the mind movement will slow down. And for a brief moment or moments, it will stop. Then you see what is there instead of thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is an experience happening. So I'm just getting into that point you talked about. That experience will go into your memory, into your intellect. That is called wisdom. That is your experience. It is not something shared to you.
Absolutely.
So that is wisdom.
Yes. It's that wisdom. Yes. It's not knowing it. And we have people so many times say, well, I know it now. I get it. I remembered it. You know, I can repeat it. That has nothing to do with learning, right? It takes wisdom to sit down and actually do it and experience it. And so
exactly, yeah. In the morning, I had a session, and of course a Zoom session, and there one of my students in Paris. She is a practitioner, and she said, like, after the session, I said, how are you? And she said, I knew this all before, but now I am experiencing it. So this is the difference.
That's so good.
So
that's what we spend time on as well, really understanding our programs, is that it's not about the intellect. The intellect is good, we need to use it. It's not a bad thing, but it's integrating it it's taking the information intellectually, integrating it emotionally, acting on it physically, changing the end result, and the feedback from the change in result is learning, right? Wow, I learned something.
Yeah, then you will see that it is not what you thought it is. It has a fresh light of wisdom, awareness, lighted thing. That is something,
Oh, it's so good. This is just, that is what it's awareness. It's not more knowledge. It's raising our conscious level of awareness. So somebody who's really breathing through life, they're in a higher state of awareness. And you know, we bring this into all areas of life. We talk about somebody who's, let's say their financial goal is, you know, 100,000, I don't know, a month. They don't make 100,000 a year because they want to. They make 100,000 a year because they're not aware of how to make 100,000 a month, or they have headaches continuously because they are not aware that it's their head and they made it ache and they can make it stop, you know, or aches in their body. You know, they're just not aware. And so I think awareness is really what we're after, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a simple trick. When you are more life into it, you become more aware. When you are more aware, more life comes to it. So it is just what do you say? It moves now. It rolls now. It connects now.
It connects. Yeah, absolutely. You know, we have a lot of comments coming in here already, you know, a lot of questions. And, you know, Dima says, it's great to be here. And they ask, what helps in practicing staying with breath and becoming aware of the movement of breath inside the body, and then also watching what the mind does? You know, that's a great question, isn't it? Because
yeah,
the mind,
that's perfect. Yeah, that is what is called the practice of yoga. So it is not move your body now, sit down and breathe a bit, and then close your eyes and meditate. It is not that. When you are moving the body, move the breath with it, and then see what happens to your mind. I'm not even saying mind. Just see what happens to you inside. And if you say mind, oh, where is my mind? What is my mind? All these questions come. Just feel what is happening and see they are connected. The result is a settled you.
Yeah.
Right? So that is why when you in the beginning you asked how breaking open to breathing open.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do the physical postures like stretch out now, kind of know that you can do that, you break open. But you can breathe open too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah? So that brings more deep calmness and peace. That is not a sleeping peace. It's an alert peace.
Yeah.
So that is the alertness of your calmness. So that is what yoga gives us.
That is so
yeah
good.
So it's that question is very good. So how to open the body, breathe in it, and get deeper into the feeling of what it makes you within. That is the course of yoga: body, breath, mind, feelings, experience, knowledge.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, you know, I think that's a key point to make. You can when you can sit. It's a great line of yours. I took it in my notebook years ago, and I keep reminding myself often. When you can sit down and do nothing, you can do everything, right? Because you found a center within you, and now there's space to create from. But if there's that compulsive rush to move and do things, then there's no space to create from. And I think a lot of folks end there where they think they're more productive, they get more done by doing more things, but that's not necessarily so.
Yeah, doing the right things is the most important thing, right? Not doing a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So the right things can be initiated from within, because you are the source of everything that you do. It is from you it begins. Mm-hmm. So when the beginning is right, the beginning is clear, the beginning is calm, and you are clear about where you are moving, then definitely the outcome will come. Yeah. Otherwise, if you are not clear, confused, and restless, you do a lot, but what?
There's
what is the use for you?
Exactly. Everything is done 20%. You know, I have a lot of folks, you know, wear the word busy as a badge of honor. They almost feel proud to be able to say I'm busy or I'm multitasking. And I think what they're really communicating to the world around them is that their mind is in a state of confusion and chaos.
Yeah. So as you said, once you are calm and clear, you can do whatever you want. It is not that I am calm and sitting in my room and doing nothing. No, that is not calmness. It is called tiredness. It is called heaviness. It is called darkness. It is not that. The calmness has an alertness. Yeah. Alert and calm. Yeah. So that will help you to find what is right and what should be done. There is no confusion. There is clarity, the utmost clarity. And then what you do it will come, because your mind is focused on that completely. Where your mind is, there comes life, and it becomes alive for you, for sure.
Mm.
Happens for you.
So good. So you can actually say you're thinking life into it. James Allen said, he wrote in his book, As a Man Thinketh, he said, calmness of mind is one of the most beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the
Huh.
long and patient effort in self-control. And long and patient, I think, is the key words there. Don't you agree?
Yeah. So and confidently,
Mm.
without fear.
Yeah.
The fear is something that prevents us from going this way, because this is uncharted waters, because nobody can tell you like, okay, now you will reach there. No, it is not possible. So you don't have a pointer there. The only thing is that I am calm, I am focused, and I am doing what is right for me, right? So definitely what will come out is yours. So taking responsibility for that. So it can be this or that, without fear, trusting that this is for me, whatever is coming up.
Absolutely.
Because you initiated it and you got it back as a result. Okay, so what hope are you blaming now? So so we take responsibility for our life in that way.
Yeah, that's so good. That's one key point we continue to make in our programs too, is the responsibility component, because it is our results. You can't separate us from our results. They're ours. You know, they're a result of where our mind has been in the past. And so it's not the parents' fault. It's not the environment. It's not the job. It's not the colleagues. It's mine. You know, and I think that is a big and daunting responsibility for a lot of people, having to realize that. Yes, I created
Yeah.
it. It was mine. But
Yeah. So if you think that what you created is not good for you, then use your wisdom to change.
yeah,
Don't repeat it. So
yeah,
that is what Osho called mistake. He says mistake. You missed taking a lesson from the last wrong thing you did. That's what he says. Osho. And he said, take a lesson from the last wrong thing you did,
no,
and don't do mistakes.
no,
Right. So then he said, you are welcome to go wrong, but don't do mistakes.
no. Yeah,
So
I
that
mean,
is
I think that's a key point. You know, there's no mistakes. There's really just learning lessons, but they become mistakes when we keep doing the same mistake over and over and over again. Then that's a different thing, right? I mean,
yeah.
it's course correction continuously in life, and go with goal creation. You know, I really try and treat winning and losing the same. They're just guiding marks towards where I want to go. You know, and as a result of this work and working with you and you know, integrating these tools for years now, it's interesting because sometimes, you know, I don't reach those peak and valleys anymore like I used to. I don't get overly excited, and I don't get really sad either. And there was a period in my life where I thought, this is weird, I'm supposed to get really excited right now when I was reaching the goals. But then I realized it's not really exciting.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
very interesting.
there's equilibrium. There isn't the peaks and valleys anymore. And so for a while I was like, this is weird. I was impatient. I gotta feel this deep excitement now. It just isn't there. There's more groundedness. There's a more profound sense of gratitude for life in general. But I think that's a natural byproduct of the work I've done with you. And
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So you miss the peaks now. Peaks means you, it's sometimes what is the meaning of life? You don't go there. So the peak of your excitement. Okay, go there and you go to the depth of your despair too. So that
yeah,
is, you cannot avoid that. So the more you go up, the more you come down, right? So it becomes a little more like that. Like people ask me, are you excited that you have reached something that you wished for? I said, oh, let me see. No. So don't get disappointed if I say I'm not excited.
that's so good.
I feel good. That's okay.
That's so such a good point, right? I had somebody ask me not so long ago, how did it feel reaching that goal? And I'm like, I sort of visualized it for 5 years now, and it felt natural for 5 years. So there wasn't the whole, you know, fanfare and champagne bottles popping and confetti falling from the sky. I didn't have that experience because it was just another beautiful day to be alive. And
Yeah. It's kind of strange. Sometimes even when we look at it, like in the morning, one of the sessions there are some. How are you handling being inside the house for 10 days now? I said, oh, am I handling it? Oh, I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting in my home. Why should I handle something there? I don't know what should be handled,
Light
right?
handling.
Because
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
so
that's
good
so.
to sit at home.
Yeah, because handling it implies already that you're fighting it at a certain level, right? You're resisting it at a certain level. It needs to be handled, it needs to be taken care of, but it just is. We make it what it is, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point.
Yeah. So that's the difference.
Yeah, that's good. That's so good. We have quite a few questions coming through again. Dima followed up and said, what I was trying to say is that this settling in the breath will bring about settling in the body and allowing thus the calming of the mind. All this ultimately would bring clarity and higher awareness. Yeah, that just beautifully summing up what we were just talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. Perfect.
It's a great summary. So before we get to the end, Suresh will teach us a breathing exercise that will help us calm down. We can calm down, but speed up, right? We can totally calm down, and by calming down, we can get more done. but I think now is a matter of really settling the mind to more than ever, because the whole world is really going into a frenzy, and we can just be with it. We can choose our own environment, choose our own mindset, choose our own economy, our own state of well-being in this situation. And so when everybody's talking about the big challenge, I really see the big opportunity in it. I see a beautiful big opportunity, as you pointed out in the beginning of the calls, to go the other way. Now, as the world out there, the world of form is shutting down, a lot. At least we can go to the true essence of who we are.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, of course, there are a lot of people who cannot enjoy this privilege because there are a lot of difficulties otherwise. So, what we can do for them is from the level of clarity, calmness, focused doing, not doing something, getting out there and getting affected by it is not the idea. So how you can go there and affect them with what you can offer instead of getting affected by that and getting back home and worrying about it. So it is
such
not the idea.
Such a beautiful point. Everybody, if people say, well, I can't change anything. Well, one person changed my entire world, and one person making the decision that this is what it's going to be like can be the person that changes another person's world. And then it spreads like ripples in the water, right? That's what we're seeing with this gratitude challenge we're doing. We started with about 100. Now we're up to like 400 and some participants every day that's doing it. And collectively as a group, it's very powerful. And so for those of you who are considering it, joining in again in about half an hour's time where we go live with the gratitude challenge. But that's really it's such an important point. Instead of being affected by the world, we can choose to affect it positively by the state of our being any moment. Beat asks a question here in Danish. I'm just going to simultaneously translate. Which yoga exercise is good to start with when you're just sitting still and breathing and just being? What yoga exercise is good to start off with when you just want to sort of sit and be and breathe? Would now be a good time to sort of go into the technique maybe?
Yep. Yeah. So that is a big question that you asked. That is the goal of yoga. Okay. So yeah.
Okay,
So
we have 10 more minutes. You can teach all of yoga in 10.
5 minutes is enough, I think.
Your whole life is this subject, right?
The whole of yoga. Yeah. It is not about doing a lot. It is about doing something that is appropriate for the moment. That's all. So, of course, sitting down more calmly needs a certain kind of state in the body which can sit down, okay, which is not restless, which is not tight, which is not painful, which can manage on its own, so you don't have to worry about it. So, those movements that we can do with our body will help you to sit down. There are a lot of them. Okay, so I cannot go there like which one is appropriate, because that one is depending on who you are.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I cannot say a general thing. Okay,
Right.
so sit comfortably. That's all I can say. Whatever way, you can sit on a chair, you can sit on your cushion, you can sit with your legs straight or bent, whatever way. Sit down. So, no, sitting down doesn't mean that like drop down, like break down. No, sit as much as possible with the back straight. So use the medium wherever you are sitting down to make you feel settled in your posture. That's all. That's the first thing. Then only you can relax your breath. So immediately you feel that, yes. Yeah. So a level of comfort in the body translates to a level of the state of your breath too. The breath feel like, yes, good. Starts to move freely, right? Then comes the mind. Then the mind starts to settle down. Okay, this is the idea. Okay, so now we have to do something with the breath because settling down the breath takes a little more. So one thing that is easier for all of us, like a simple thing to do, is breathing in and out.
Yeah.
So that is the simplest movement of the breath can make, and that is only movement the breath can make. Breathe in, breathe out, right? So making that movement, breathing in, breathing out. So that is the one practice that I'm going to give you. That is called the Bastrika. Breathe in, breathe out. Simple. Like I will show you like this. It is. That's all. 3, 4, 5 times, that is enough. Otherwise, you feel dizzy. Okay, so that is the breathing. So you cannot just breathe for long because you feel hyperventilated, I feel a little dizzy. So we have to move the body too with it. So the simplest movement that we can make is to make the arms go up. I will move back a bit so that you can see my palm too. Up, open. Okay, breathe in because you're opening the body. So open the breath too. Breathe in. When you breathe out, bring your arms down slowly and bend your fingers. Make a loose fist in front of your shoulders. Not tight. Relax. Relax. Okay. So this is the movement. Breathing in and bringing your arms up. And breathe out. So now when you breathe more fast, like in, out. So move accordingly. So I will show you first. Synchronizing the body movement with your breath movements. Very simple. Okay, very simple. It is not an exercise to make muscles for your arms. No, just move up to open up and bring down to release. It's like a what do you say? This Bastrika means the bellows.
Yeah.
That thing, the olden times, like the bubblers used that. Yeah. So the same thing. So that, okay. So use the arms to make that movement. So shall we do that with open eyes? We will do 10 times. Just follow my speed. Okay. Breathe in and out. And now in, out, in, open up, out, in, 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 out, in. Just easy and just move with the breath. Now relax. Take a deep breath in and breathe out and close your eyes. Feel the sensations in your body. Wherever you feel the sensations, maybe all over the body or somewhere. Watch your breath. See how your breath is moving. The state of your breath. Just be aware of it. Put your attention there. Let the breath move. You just watch it. And then check, how do you feel? How are you? Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
see that we moved the breath fast and we moved the arms fast, but your breath is not fast as a result of it,
no,
right? You feel that the breath is more deep and calm.
absolutely. And there's a
And the
sense,
mind is,
yeah,
yeah, tell me.
there's a centeredness that wasn't there before. There's a more anchoredness, like you feel more grounded in your body,
Yeah.
and you feel
And
how the mind just sort of goes into the state of equilibrium as a result of that. Such a powerful exercise. I mean, it's
yeah, and thus at the same time see that your body is alive and more energetic.
yeah, yeah. No,
The alertness of the body, the deep and calm breath, deep and long breath, and calm mind,
hmm,
focused and calm mind. What else you need to have a good, good what you goal setting and going for it? Okay, this is the body is ready, your breath is ready, your mind is ready.
beautiful. And like Eckhart Tolle says, in this moment, there's no problems. There's only life situations, you got to deal with them, but they can't exist in this moment. And if anything, this exercise brings us into the moment where problems crumble and crush and fall apart.
Exactly, that is what Patanjali, the first master of yoga, said. Also, are you out or are you in? That is the only difference. Are you suffering? Just check, are you out or in? There is always a place inside you where there is no suffering. And when you go out to the world, there is suffering.
Yep.
So, where you can have your home is inside you. It is not escaping from the world. It is a place from you start your life in this world, not suffering with the world, but doing something to do something for the suffering of the world
Mm.
because you are not suffering anymore.
That is so beautiful. That is so beautiful. I remember you sharing a story with me years ago of a woman that came to you in a very, in an almost crippled state, that she couldn't move. She was, there was, her physical body was just not functioning. And you asked her, how are you doing?
Oh, I still have tears when I think about her.
Ah,
Yeah, she is sitting like this, and her husband on the side is supporting her knees and body, and she's sitting like that. And then I asked her, "How are you?" And she said, "You see me, my body is not working at all, and I have a lot of pain in my body, and I have a lot of diseases." And she said, "Apart from that, I am fine."
wow.
Oh, wow! So, how many of us can say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it. We think we have, I mean, problems are truly man-made, aren't they? Mind-made.
Yes, exactly.
Because the
So
essence
if
of
you are
who,
fine inside, even when you have problems in your tools, in your mind, in your body, or wherever, but when you are fine inside,
hmm.
this is where it can start. Then I said, you don't need to do anything. You have reached the goal of yoga. From there, you can change all your situations outside.
Yeah.
It cannot be perfect. Nothing can be perfect outside. It is not, I'm not talking that about that. When you are feeling that everything will be perfect, it's not that. It will be perfect for you. That's all.
Mm, that's great. That's a wonderful line to wrap this up with. It will be perfect for you. There is no perfect. There's no measurable threshold called perfect. There's just what works for you, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
getting to the essence of who we are in that way is just, the road is perfect, isn't it? The road to that goal is perfect.
It's beautiful. It is so interesting. It is so exciting in a way, right? In that the only thing that excites me now is my practice.
Yeah. Ah,
Because there is always something new waiting for me, like, that is nice.
yeah.
Okay.
I feel the exact same way. It's so exciting. Every day is a new day. We're serving clients all over, and they're experiencing a change as a result of this. And on that note, I know, Suresh, you are doing yoga lessons actually from home, out of your living room through Zoom, and anybody can join in. So we're going to post the link to your school, brahmayogaschool.org. We'll post that link in the chat here afterwards. So for those of you who are watching this and who feel inspired, maybe need to add a little, not a little, because it will be a lot, but in the beginning it may feel like a little sort of extra energy or extra spice to your practice, go check out Suresh. He can definitely
Yeah,
help.
and the one thing I have to say about that there, because you're all in different time zones, and okay, so there are some sessions in the morning that are good for people in maybe in Europe. It's afternoon here, it's morning there. So there is a limitation of timings.
That makes
So just send me a message. It's just in the contact link there, and then we will see which is better for you. So even in US, you have different timings. So I cannot sit there. Look, this is the time. Join now. It's not possible because some of you are in the sleeping deep at
that's a
this
good
time.
point. We were just finding this time slot where it fitted with the US and Europe and India at the same time. That was interesting. So I thank you for joining in the evening from Chile, where you are.
Yeah.
And thank you. I know time flies in wonderful company, and we are almost at the hour. In 20 minutes, we're starting our gratitude magic challenge. So for those
Yeah.
that and are watching here, join in. It's going to be day 3, and we have an amazing experience collectively as a group. So for those of you joining in here, make sure you stay on the page. We'll be live back here in about 20 minutes with the Gratitude Magic Challenge. But Suresh, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking
Wow,
time.
it's my privilege to be with you, because when we are together, it is always very, very exciting in that way, right? So that is called satsang, being in the right company, being with the deeper things, and that is the only thing that can kind of excite me now. So thank you for that. So bringing some excitement to my life.
Thank you for bringing a lot of excitement to my life, to everybody watching. I'm really grateful to you, my friend. Love and light to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah. Thanks.